Welcome to Gameday U Hoops. We have a packed show for you tonight covering all things Oklahoma hoops. We'll cover OU women's basketball, men's basketball, high school, and the OKC Thunder for you tonight. But I'm not doing it alone. My name is Tyler DeLuca, and I'm joined by Hallie Moss, Kenzie Eiserman, and Brig Bates. Y'all ready to talk some basketball?
Oh, for sure.
Always.
Well, if y'all ready, let's not waste any more time. We're going to be spending a lot of time in Waco this week, so let's dive right into the 16th ranked OU women's basketball team matching up with Baylor. With just over 5 minutes left in this game, the Sooners found themselves down 12 points. Each second that went by, it seemed closer and closer to certain that OU would lose this game. But how about a little Sooner magic for you? After trailing for over 39 minutes in this game, a three from who else but Taylor Robertson would send the game to overtime where OU would win 98-92. Here is what head coach Jenny Baranczyk had to say after.
I thought Baylor was incredible. I mean, they exposed us. I thought Caitlin Bickle was awesome. I thought Dariana Littlepage-Buggs, I thought she was great. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Sarah Andrews is one of the best guards, not just in our league, but in the country. And I'm really proud of our grit. I'm really proud that we didn't give up. We just kept fighting. And there were a lot of times that we could have, and we didn't. And so I'm just really proud of us.
I agree with Jenny Baranczyk there. I was super impressed with the fight of this team and playing as a team, because Maddie Williams only had 9 points on the game, but they picked up the slack. Liz Scott and Skylar Van combining for 31 points. I was really impressed by OU in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, this is the team that we need to be packing the LNC for. They're relentless. They don't give up, taking it all the way to OT to secure the win.
No, I agree 100%. They were down in the first, the second, and the third quarter, but that didn't stop them there. And this is the 11th double-digit comeback of the Baranczyk era. I mean, never giving up is something this team needs to be proud of.
Just like you said, Kinsey, they were down throughout the entire game, but this team lives and breathes adversity. They flat out don't stop. If the Sooners compete until the end, they will win. The Sooners are 3-0 in overtime under Jenny Baranczyk.
Yeah, and next up for the women is a meeting in Manhattan when they take on Kansas State. In this matchup last season, you might remember, Ayoka Lee set the single-game scoring record with 61 points. But this K-State team is very different, as Lee went down with a season-ending knee injury against Baylor. The Sooners had 5 players in double figures and 26 assists, something Jenny Baranczyk will want to continue against K-State.
I mean, look at this game. Look at people sharing the basketball. Over 50 assists in the game is incredible for our sport. So, yes, we always want that balanced scoring, and we want it in a variety of ways. And, yeah.
The Sooners now sit in sole possession of second place in the Big 12 standings. They're only 1 game behind Texas, but a slip-up could ruin their chances at that top spot. Hallie, what are you looking to see in this game?
Well, Tyler, I can tell you one player I'm excited about watching, and she might not be a Sooner now, but she used to be Gabby Gregory. Before transferring to Kansas State, she didn't start 1 game for the Sooners last season, but now she started 13 out of the last 15 games for the Wildcats, averaging 19.5 points a game, and is their leading scorer. In the first game of the regular season against Houston, Gabby was not starting, and then she dropped 21 points, proving her point, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I think Gabby's going to be a big person that the Sooners are going to have to watch for. But, you know, on the Sooner team, somebody that needs to be talked about more is Nevaeh Tot. Every time I'm watching these ladies play, I am drawn to her. She's quick, aggressive, and I think she's the #1 playmaker on this team. This season, she's leading the team in assists with 3.8 per game. She's going to be someone that K-State will have to watch for if they want a chance to try to take home the win.
I have to agree with you, Kinsey. Nevaeh Tot is playing phenomenal, but the biggest playmaker on this Sooners offense is Taylor Robertson. Steph Curry wears number 30, and so does the greatest shooter of all time, Taylor Robertson. There are flames coming off the ball when she shoots. Robertson just broke the NCAA's record for 3-pointers, and just this season, she is shooting lights out from deep, 44%. But don't forget her clutchness. Robertson knocked down the game-tying 3 versus Baylor to send it to OT.
Yeah, I expect this to be a really high-scoring matchup. All 3 of the players that you guys mentioned able to put up some points. But who do you guys think is going to win this one? I got OU.
I don't want to bet against Jenny from the block, a.k.a. Jenny Baranczyk, but I'm sticking with my girl Gabby. I'm taking K-State.
Oh, I hate that you said that, because Boomer Sooner, baby. I never doubt this group of ladies, so I know they'll go on top. Even if they have to go against Gabby, I don't see them losing this one.
I have to go with the Wildcats. Sooners transfer Gabby Gregory is on fire, averaging 19 points per game. I expect a big revenge game, and you're at the Little Apple. K-State's got this one.
I don't know. I'm kind of rolling. Jenny on the block. That's kind of nice. I'm just Jenny from the block. Don't make me get. I'll go crazy. Hey, all right, we got to move on from that. The women weren't the only team who made a trip to Waco this week. As the men faced off with the Bears on Wednesday night, we will dive into how they fared next on Game Day U Hoops. Game Day U Hoops. Let's stay in Waco, but switch it over to the OU men's team as they took on the 14th ranked Baylor Bears on Wednesday night. And while the women had success in Waco, the same did not follow the men. It was far from the ugliest loss of the season as the Sooners hung in the game, but ultimately the Bears would protect home court 82-72. The Sooners were led in scoring by Grant Sherfield, who had 15 points with 4 threes, but the stars of the night, the two freshmen in the starting lineup, both putting up solid performances, with Milos Uzan scoring 11 points and Otega Owe scoring 10 in his first career start. Head coach Porter Mosier was impressed by his two freshman starters.
Got 21 minutes tonight. Joe Bama still got 18. I still got a ton of confidence in Bijan, but I thought in that kind of atmosphere, you had, I thought Otega and Milos did some good things. I thought Grant had really got the ball moving. He had back to 7 assists. That was good to see him get 7 assists.
Well, let's just be transparent. OU needed this win, and they didn't get it. But there's still some positives to take from it. The freshman contributions from the starting lineup, I loved it. I love what I was seeing.
I agree. I did love the freshman contributions, but guys, the last 4 minutes of the game, when they needed it most, was mistake after mistake, and most of them were unforced. Turnovers and fouls lost them this game.
No, I agree. Like you said, I need to be 100% transparent as well. I have said it before, and this definitely will not be the last time I say this. This team crumbles under pressure. That last final moments, those final seconds of the game, they need to step up. It's almost like they're trying to make a mistake.
I have to agree with you both, Kinsey and Hallie. This team is a box of apple turnovers, the way they turn over the ball. And when it comes down to it, they give up big runs when they're not supposed to. They stayed within 1 to 5 points the entire game and just throw it all away at the end.
And they've now dropped 6 in a row in the Big 12. And that Alabama upset, the positivity from that has kind of faded away. And life in the Big 12 is probably the hardest in the entire country. And the Sooners are in desperate need of a win. So who else is coming to town but number 9, Kansas? Earlier this season, the Sooners took the Jayhawks down to the wire in Lawrence, but will be in need of a win this Saturday. Porter Mosier will be looking to play fast against the Jayhawks.
I thought we got some transition baskets. I thought we got some easy. We got out and ran in transition. I thought the ball was moving, and I just thought we were playing with a good pace. I thought we really, in that stretch, I thought we had really good possessions. And that's what we got to do. We got to play with that kind of a pace.
And it's no secret that every OU men's basketball fan circles the Kansas home game on their calendar. Hallie, what is the key to OU winning this game?
One name, Tyler. One name. Grant Sherfield. The man has proven he's the most important addition to the squad this year, leading the team in points and assists. Sherfield has scored over 20 points in 9 games this year, including dropping 30 to help the team secure their biggest win against number 2 Alabama. But it does make me wonder, though, if his talents are being wasted on a team that's 2-9 in their conference.
I agree. For the Sooners, Grant is going to be important for this game, but the name that must be remembered for Jayhawks is their forward, Jalen Wilson. Wilson is averaging 20.7 points, just over 8 rebounds a game. He's averaging 17 points against OU specifically, although he's not coming off his best performance on the court against Texas, which could lean in OU's favor, only putting up 2 points and shooting 1 from the 7 on the field. Even after that game, this still is Kansas's star player, and he is the reason that they're a top 10 team.
Yeah, guys, I got to ask you one question. What do you use when you go to the bathroom? That's Charmin Soft toilet paper. And you know who that is that soft? OU big Tanner Groves. Let's talk numbers. In 6 of the last 7 games, OU has been out-rebounded. And guess how many of those games the Sooners have won? You guessed it, 1 game. The Sooners are getting dominated in the paint. If the Sooners want a chance at making the big dance, the Sooners need to bring in Coach Jerry Smith from the football team to build some strength.
Brig, I don't know anything about toilet paper, but I do think you're spot on when it comes to owning that paint. Because Kansas, they got some athletes, and you can't give a team that talented second chances, offensive rebounds. So for that, I don't think they're going to be able to stop Kansas. I think Kansas is going to win this game.
Now, don't laugh at me. I do think Kansas will win, but close. I think the Sooners will come out with a chip on their shoulder from the last close game they lost against Kansas, but in the end, I don't think it'll be enough.
See, record shows that they constantly do that. I agree with you. It's going to be close, but they never finish. They never finish. And the last time I was on, I said Alabama, but that was the one time they've shown me wrong. So I still got to go with the OG basketball school. I also have Kansas.
I got to agree with you, Kinsey. Kansas is the cream of the crop when it comes to college basketball. All the Sooners fans are going to be hearing is Rock Chalk Jayhawk when this Jayhawks offense goes into Lloyd Noble Center and dominates this weak Sooners defense.
All right, that's a Kansas sweep on the set, and I hope you got your fill of Sooners basketball, because when we come back, we are breaking down this week of Thunder basketball. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Game Day U Hoops. I hope you got to your NCAA fill for now, as it is time to switch over to the NBA and talk some Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder had a solid week this week, going 2-1. Let's break it down. All-star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander popped off against the Rockets, dropping 42 points. The lone loss was honestly a forgettable one in a 141-124 loss to Golden State. And with the lights brightest, cameras on, the Thunder were the ones bringing the action to the Lakers, winning 133-130. Here's what Josh Giddey had to say about LeBron's historic night.
As a player, you also are a fan. And, the things he's done for the game over the last, 20 or so years has inspired and is a mentor and role model to kids all around the world. So he was, to me, my favorite player growing up. So, to be on the floor, and share history, like we did tonight was special. And, it's a record that, never and again in our lifetime will it, be broken.
That's enough from me right now. I want to hear from you three and your thoughts on this week's games. Hallie, what do you got?
Look, I've been a fan of the Thunder this season, but man, did they let me down against the Warriors. And without Steph. No Steph Curry, no problem apparently, as Golden State killed OKC 141-114. The Thunder weren't playing bad, but it wasn't enough to keep up with Klay Thompson, who dropped 42 points.
This game was a huge game for not only the OKC Thunder, who came out on top, but also for Lakers star LeBron James, like you were just talking about. But for right now, I'm going to focus on the Thunder's end. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 30 points while Jalen Williams had 25. The Thunder beat the Lakers not only in the score, but specifically from the three-point line. OKC hit 50% from the three, while LA only had 45%. Ending the game 133-130 in the Thunder's favor.
And next up for the Thunder, bad blood is brewing. Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. We all remember Dame waved goodbye to OKC in the playoffs a few years ago. But the Thunder's win the first 2 against the Blazers so far this year. Portland's lost 2 of their last 3 games, while OKC's lost 2 of the 3 on the road. The 2 teams tip off Friday night at 9 Central.
Well, one player you guys didn't touch on, and that is my takeaway from this week. Jalen Williams, J-Will, the power forward, not J-Dub, and it gets confusing. That boy is hooping. The sample size from three-pointers starting to grow. He's shooting nearly 50%, right around there. He's taking charges. He's spreading the floor. And a player that we thought might be a fringe roster spot going into the next season as the Thunder continue to build and grow is now a solid rotational player. I don't know how Sam Presti finds these guys, but every time it feels like he hits on them.
Yes, J-Will is hooping, but the Thunder would not be winning the games they have been without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander balling out like he has. Guys, 42 points in 3 quarters against the Rockets. I know we've touched on it, but come on. There's a reason he's the team's first All-Star since Chris Paul in 2019.
Yeah, I agree, but flipping it back to the Lakers game, I just want to touch on the impressive record that LeBron James broke that night. Although the game didn't end in the Lakers' favor, he now holds the NBA all-scoring record with 38,390 points, making NBA history, which I know he said earlier this week wasn't that big compared to a win, but I sure think it definitely is.
They stopped the whole game for it. I hope
know,
it's bigger than a win.
Right.
I know, and he said it wasn't, but I disagree with
can't
that.
count that
I no.
Did you know they could do that? Because I didn't.
That was new to me.
My biggest takeaway this season is this team a playoff team or a play-in team? The West just got deeper with KD's arrival from the Brooklyn Nets, and I just don't think Thunder are going to have a chance at even making a run. Is this season a waste for Thunder?
I don't think it's a waste, but playoff or play-in, either way, the future is bright for the young Thunder. But let's talk about some young potential basketball stars from the state. We're talking high school hoops next on Game Day U Hoops. Welcome back to Game Day U Hoops. We have hit on OU and the Thunder, so how about we talk some high school hoops? Brig Bates has moved from here on the desk with me to our wall to take us across the state. Brig, what do you got for us?
That's right, Tyler. We have an action-packed high school hoops this week. Welcome back to Ballin' with Brig. We kick off at Westmore as they host the Norman High Tigers for some high school lady hoops. It was all Norman High Tigers in this one as Norman star Keely Parks finds the three ball to extend the lead. Keely Parks has been offered by OU as she is averaging 19 points per game. Tigers dominated this game with their boa constrictor-like defense and ball movement. And the Westmore Jags didn't give up as KK King hits the and one, but it wasn't enough as the Tigers roar past the Jaguars 67-37. High school basketball is coming to an end as playoffs are right around the corner, and the teams are leaving it all on the court. Westmore versus Norman High turned out to be the game of the year on Tuesday night. It was a battle of the Big Cats as Norman High Tigers traveled up 35 to face the Westmore Jaguars in this thriller with 9 different lead changes. Tiger star Trayshawn Combs-Pierce gets up for the quick dunk as Jags guard Evan Barber strikes back, grabbing the board and puts it back in for the and one. And Trajan shows off his post work as he had 18 points for the Tigers. And with only 5 seconds left in the game, Evan Barber goes coast to coast and draws the foul for game-winning free throws. He knocks down both of them and they take the lead. Tigers were left with less than a second and a half-court heave from the buzzer. Trajan Combs-Pierce splashes and the Tigers win 56-55. And speaking of high school hoops, help is on the way for the Sooners. 2023 four-star commit Caden Cooper is a 6'6" small forward with extreme talent. The Ada, Oklahoma stud transferred to the Skill Factory Prep High School in Georgia. And that's all for high school hoops. I hope you enjoy it. Be back next week as we kick off closer to playoffs. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Bree. We're going to make some subs on this set, but I don't want you changing a thing. Stick with Game Day U Hoops because Pick'em is next. Welcome back to Game Day U Hoops. We got a little bit of a lineup change here. I'm now joined by Emily LeBeth, Zoe Watson, and Kaylee Hommel. I'm ready to get straight into some picks, so let's dive into some big-time Big 12 ranked basketball. Baylor and TCU. Emily, who do you got?
I'm taking the Bears. This top 20 matchup will definitely be competitive. TCU has struggled without Mike Miles and are coming off a 21-point loss to number 12 Kansas State. So I think the Bears will extend TCU's losing streak to 3 in Fort Worth.
I have to disagree, Emily. I am going with the last minute with the Baylor Bears. TCU sneaked away by 1 point. Both teams have both 6 conference wins, and this will be an even game on both sides. But with TCU's win with number 2 over Kansas Jayhawks, the Horned Frogs can grab another win.
I mean, I don't think TCU has what it takes to come back from that big K-State loss without their leading scorer, too. I mean, the last time the two teams met, he posted 33 points. I mean, they're going to need him. So I'm going to have to say that the Bears are taking the dub in Funky Town.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for TCU, but I know this next game I've been waiting for all year on the women's side. Number 1, South Carolina. Number 3, LSU. Both teams undefeated. Emily, Which team's staying that way?
I'm taking the Tigers to stay undefeated. LSU has been climbing their way up the rankings this season, and they don't plan on stopping. Angel Reese has been outstanding. She has 23 consecutive double-doubles and will play a big role in this game. LSU has the momentum it needs to beat the Gamecocks.
I like where your point is, Emily. Both teams are undefeated and both ranked in the top 3. The highest ranked team LSU has played is number 24 Arkansas, so not the strongest schedule, but South Carolina has beat number 5 UConn at home and got a big win. So give me the Gamecocks.
I gotta agree with you. I mean, it's Sunday's second biggest game for a reason. That win over number 5 UConn, I mean, it says a lot. It's the reason why week after week they're consecutively ranked number 1. So I'm giving it to the Gamecocks.
Yeah, I'm going with South Carolina too. Their defense is insane. Sorry, But finally, on to the NBA with the Lakers and the Warriors. And while it was a joyous week for LeBron, the Lakers are in desperate need of a win. Emily, do you think they get it?
Although the Lakers fell short to the Thunder on Tuesday, they are going to come out on top against the Warriors. Curry's injury did impact Golden State, so the Lakers need to capitalize off the situation to put them on the right path for the road to the playoffs.
I have to agree, Emily. High-profile game with LeBron and Steph, with the injured Steph Curry and LeBron out tonight with the ankle sprain against the Milwaukee Bucks. LeBron has to win to move up in the Western Conference standings. May the king reign again.
Okay, yes, Steph Curry is out. Yes, the Lakers just made a trade getting rid of Westbrook and reacquiring D'Angelo Russell, but you can't deny the Warriors play great at home, so I'm going with the Warriors.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that one. Jordan Poole's going to have to pop off for the Warriors to win, but I do like the new additions for the Lakers. But that's going to do it for us. For Emily LeBeth, Zoe Watson, and Kaylee Hommel, I am Tyler DeLuca, and we will see you next week on Game Day U Hoops.